and thank you for tuning in to Three Queens, One Camera. Today we are going to be talking about how our last relationships, or what our last relationships taught us, and how we escaped from them, and how we overcame those toxic situations. Anybody want to
kick it off?
Jasmine.
I choose you. Because I have so many toxic experiences. My last serious situation definitely taught me the importance of being self-sufficient, and also to, I think, be very mindful and understanding, because the reality is people do change, and I think sometimes we have this, you hope for the best, but you have to be prepared for the worst. And not so much that you have a plan B, but more so, how are you going to deal with the situation if, your partner decides to lose his fucking mind, and you know what I mean? Like, switch up on you, how do you do, how do you cope? So I think for me, what I learned is, again, how to be enough for myself and not rely on somebody else to be that for me. Now, of course, I would love for someone to come along and be, Captain Save It, Jasmine.
Well, we all serious.
Right. But in a healthy way, right? Because I don't want someone feeling like I'm dependent on them. But it is nice to know that someone has your back. You know what I mean? That you have that support. So yes, I would love that. But I think not having that taught me to be that for myself in all situations.
My last situation, not my last relationship, but my last situation taught me to love myself more, and to not trust everybody. I went through a situation where, I was dating a guy. I feel like when you have other people involved in your relationship, especially when they're your friends, things tend to get misconstrued. These friends are your friends, so you're confiding in them because that's what girlfriends do, and then it gets messy. Anyway, but during that situation, I allowed him to kind of, I wouldn't say demean me, but in a way he kind of blamed me for a lot of things, and I kind of took it, and I was like, oh, it is my fault. Maybe I shouldn't have did this. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. And it's like, in reality, thinking about it now that I'm in a better mental space, I was like, I wasn't wrong. Like, I was right for feeling how I felt. But I felt neglected. I'm like, if we're dating, I feel like we should be, hanging out, and you should be spending time with me. Yeah, you have your friend time and all that, but I need some time too, if we're trying to get to know each other and do this thing. And yeah, so that whole situation made me feel, I guess it came off insecure, because I wasn't getting the attention that I thought that I deserved and that I needed in that. And now I'm in a different mental space, so yeah, it just taught me to love myself more, to trust my instinct, trust my intuition, and not allow somebody else's opinions and thoughts to fuck up my head, because I know what's right. I know what I want and what I deserve, and I shouldn't have allowed somebody else to kind of take that.
The songwriter once said, if I'm asking for too much, I'm asking the wrong motherfucker.
That part.
That's what they say. Oh, yeah. All right. So, in my situation, it's going to be a little different. I'm usually the dark one, but this situation is a little different. My last relationship kind of taught me that even if this person is not toxic in a sense, and what we normally see is, if he's abusive, if he is, putting his hands on you, or verbally abusive, or he's cheating on you, my ex did none of that. He was basically kind of in a situation where he did not know how to love me because he wasn't raised to express that and wasn't taught that. And so here I am dealing with a very decent human being that I truly wanted to try and help through this. So I knew I couldn't really change it, and I knew it wasn't something that, like, I can't raise you to do this because you're not even aware of what you need to work on. But yeah, we had a good relationship, but he definitely made me feel like I was like by myself in a lot of it. So I'm like thinking of marriage, I'm going out of my way, and I felt like I had to start like backtracking and kind of like downgrading myself because I knew what I was ready for, but he wasn't. So one situation that I reflected on recently that was just like, wow, like I really downgraded for this situation. But anyway, his birthday and my birthday are like 5 days apart. So for the first birthday we spent together, I threw him a surprise party, invited his whole family, his friends, like at Spaghettini's. And if your moms know about Spaghettini, you know it's poppin', right? Okay. So I rent out this private room at Spaghettini's, and you know, we had the little party. I had the party on my birthday because there was some situation where we couldn't have it on his, and my birthday falls on Labor Day, which threw everyone else's plans off. So I'm dealing with his family, I'm dealing with my family, I'm doing all this for him on my birthday.
Right.
So I executed perfectly. And I think either my following birthday, yes, I think following birthday or one of my other birthdays that come up, and I asked him to get me these shoes, and we both love supporting Black-owned businesses. I found a Black woman who was a performer that made her own heels, and the ones I wanted were probably like $500-ish. And he hesitated the fuck out of it. It was just like, oh, why do you want these? Or like he legit was just like, and I was like, well, there's these. They're like $200. Like you can get the.
Right.
I legit within that moment, just like it wasn't even compromise. It was like, no, like you're not getting this. You don't deserve this. I'm not spending my money on it. And I'm like, I just spent over $1,500 for you and your family to have this elaborate dinner, and
it wasn't even about the money. Like I didn't bring it. I suppose.
No, it was about the money.
Well, I mean, like
Well,
once the no happens, it's like
the value.
Yeah, the value. It's like wait, but I didn't hesitate to do this for you. You know,
Yeah,
no matter how much I
just
spent.
right. So yeah, within that, I was like, wow. That was one of the first times I realized that I was starting to, you know, really digress in who I was, and kind of felt like I couldn't be myself. I couldn't say certain things. He would take offense. He didn't know how to deal with conflict, and we never really had like an official breakup. So this relationship also taught me that you have to have those clean cuts. You can't make excuses to keep someone in your life that doesn't deserve to be there. And you have to know how to wean yourself out and off of a situation, relationship, whatever. So we both went to counseling, which was a very mature thing for us both to do. Is we cared about each other and we wanted to be mature. So after we had that session, we said, you know what, for 30 straight days, we are not gonna have any communication whatsoever. And within that time, well, before we did the counseling and before we came to that agreement, we got to a very ugly place.
Yeah.
And so it was like, we had never fought and argued and all this. So I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm the most horrible person, but I found out something I didn't want to know, and now I'm yelling and screaming, and out of the 4 years basically we were together, that had never happened until that. And I said, now not only have I taken away from who I was in this situation and relationship, now I'm leaving my character because I stopped dating so that I didn't have to be that person. And so, yeah, I couldn't be who I wanted to be. I had to become another person. I had to settle for less. And I still, to this day, would never say anything bad about him. But he definitely wasn't ready for something serious. And I allowed myself to keep downgrading to accommodate him. It was like, no, bitch, you gotta shine. So you gotta go. So, yeah, I felt like out of this situation, it was like, just being mature about who you're choosing and stop letting your fucking emotions run it and use your fucking common sense. Like, look at it for what it is. And if you logistically, you two just aren't on the same path, move on. Tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
I totally agree. I think, like, thinking logically is so, you think it's like common sense, but common sense isn't so common.
Right.
Clearly.
Especially when it comes to love and dealing with other people. But like you said, like when you start thinking logically, the signs are so loud.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, they're so bold. It's almost like, what? What was I even? Why did I even think that was
they're
okay?
red signs.
Yeah, like they
they're
were
red flags, but it's
totally
just like,
flags,
kinda-
right? Yeah. So when you stop thinking like based on your emotions or even like lust, because I know lust will do it in a heartbeat. For me, at least. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know for me, for a period of time, thank God I've grown out of that, but for a period of time, that was how like I coped with things. So it was kind of like, I don't even have to think logically, because honestly, I can give a shit if you're good or not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're good or not for me, like right in this moment, you're good for me, you know? And I would figure it out. Like afterwards, I'll figure it out, because I'm a big girl and I got it, you know what I mean? But you don't realize how much trauma that causes down the line. So then when you're actually trying to be mature and you're actually trying to think logically, you start to remember all those times when you were not thinking logically. And it's like, damn, like, you know, I allowed you to have a piece of me, and I'm not even talking sexually, you know what I mean? Like just giving you my time, giving you my energy, allowing you in my space. Like I gave that all to you without a hesitation, and you really didn't deserve it. Like not even a little bit, you know what I mean? So it's super important, I think, you know, for us to see past all of that stuff, because they usually are, and I say men, but even the most intelligent men, you know, they can't cover up too much of who they are. Like they show who they are through different things. You just have to pay attention, and I think that's the thing. We just don't pay attention most of the times because we're focused on other things. So yeah, it's just, I think it's important so you don't lose yourself, because all of these things seems like we lost ourselves in some kind of situation, and it's important to remember who you are.
Yeah, I mean, kind of to go off of what you were just talking about. After my last relationship, which was a couple years ago, it took me a while to be intimate or even converse with another guy, like in a way of like, oh, I want to get to know him type thing. It was just kind of like, once me and him ended, I was just like, you know what, I don't want it. Like my heart is broken. Like I don't want to do it with nobody else right now. I just want to work on myself, heal, try to heal, move on. I didn't get the closure that I needed. I didn't get closure at all. So it took me longer to get over him, or to get over the whole situation, than I anticipated. Like I go, oh, this will be easy. Like the relationship wasn't that long, but because we shared so many moments together, so many conversations, deep conversations in the course of less than 6 months, you know, like I felt like that was my best friend, and to lose that, and just like that, out of nowhere, you know, it fucked me up. So it took me 6 months to even be around another guy in that way. And once I did that, and I only did that because I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna, you know, go to Vegas and I'm gonna hang out, I'm gonna do whatever I want, I'm gonna hook up with guys, knowing that's not me at all. That would never, yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm all for it.
His life.
His life. But that's never been me. Like I've never had to do that, you know. So I'm just like, all right, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna get up, you're gonna go to Vegas, you're gonna hook up, you're gonna party, have fun. Long story short, that never happened. I did end up going to Vegas. But because I was going through so much mentally and emotionally, I was just like, you know what? I want to be numb to all of it, or I am numb to all of this, and I just want to release all this pain.
I just want to fuck.
You.
That's basically what she was
No.
saying.
You know, so I just wanted to feel better.
Yeah.
At least what I thought was feeling better.
Why don't you just do cocaine? Next subject. Kidding.
No, I don't want it.
None of us do drugs.
I don't want to do anything.
No, I do
Those
drugs
kind
for
of
sure.
drugs.
I just don't do
Those
anything
kind
beyond
of
weed
drugs.
and drinking. I won't pop Tylenol, but
I
I'll
don't
smoke.
even consider smoking weed and drugs, so that's why
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, let our government tell it.
Well,
But that's
Yeah, so
don't do drugs, kids. Kids can't watch this, right?
So I met this guy, and I was attracted to him like instantly. I was like, there's something about this guy that I'm finding very intriguing. And what I came to realize was that he reminded me physically in a similar way of my ex. And so I was drawn to that. I was like, oh, a piece of him. I was like, he favors him. And so I'm just like looking at the guy like, you compared everybody to him. Like, even when I'm talking to this guy, trying to get to know him, I was like, you're not him. Like, I'm not selling this to him, but I'm like, you're not him. Like, nobody compares to him. Like, everybody else is shit. He's the best. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it was. I'm like, I can't put everybody in the same box, in the same category, and just be like, all right, you're nothing, or whatever. But I did that, and this guy, he made me realize that I wasn't ready. Emotionally, physically, mentally, I wasn't over that last situation. So I kind of just went into it to try, thinking that was going to mask what I was going through. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm over this guy, or he's going to help me get over him. And that didn't happen. It just hurt me more, because now I feel like I'm giving myself to somebody who doesn't deserve it, who didn't want a relationship. I didn't want a relationship with him either, this new guy. I was like, I'm just trying to have fun, you know? But after doing it, I'm like, this isn't what you want. This isn't the life you want. This isn't, you're grown. Like, you need to be looking for a marriage. You're old lady. You need to be looking for a man, a husband, you know, have some kids and settle down, not just some hookup buddy. Like, for me, that's kind of, I wanted that to be done, but we all got our needs. But I went into that situation not thinking clearly, and it was horrible. Sex was trash, but I still did it. But I still did it, you know? But anyway, long story short, after that situation ended, I kind of beat myself up about it, and was like, why would you do that? Like, you're trash for doing that. So I make myself feel less than, you know? And I shouldn't have done that, because I know my worth, I know what I deserve, I know that I'm a fucking queen. But in those, sometimes we have our weak moments and moments of insecurity and doubt, but it's how you overcome it and how you, from learning from it. And I feel like that taught me how to learn to respect myself more, and just don't give your cookies away to everybody. Well, I don't give them away to everybody. That sounds really bad. You get cookies. Everybody gets cookies. You know, but just because
that's a feather.
You're just because you're in a dark place, you know, doesn't mean you have to subject yourself to everything that comes your way, you know, and
yeah, I live in a dark place. But I'm allergic to happiness. But no,
I think it's so interesting, all our different perspectives.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's
On
funny.
what?
On just all our different perspectives on, you know, where we have come from, where we're at. You know, it's just, this is why it's 3 Queens on 1 Camera. It also lets you guys know, like, you can come from different places. You can disagree, you can agree on certain things, and you can really, like, be living in your own different world and still find something to be able to relate to. You know what I mean? So.
For sure. But no, I think it's also important to be able to look back at certain situations and realize that there's a lesson behind it, because very often, you know, we'll beat ourselves up about, like, oh, dating out here sucks, it has to be me, there's something going on. But the minute we're able to just really sit back and say, okay, what are these patterns? Why do I keep dating dudes like this? Why am I, you know, going down the line? I feel like you get a better perspective of who you are in the relationship.
Yep.
So if you are single, consider just dating yourself and trying to see who you are and seeing, you know, what it is that you're bringing to the table. You know what you want from the other person, and that's fine, but, you know, it's not about who you attract, it's about who you entertain. So, like, who are you in this moment, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was my TED Talk.
That's a great point. Great point. It's always, at the end of the day, it always comes back to, like, look in the mirror. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like with everything in life, like, it always comes back to. we should have a musical, bro.
Just high school
every night. But really, at the end of the day, it comes down to, you have to assess yourself all the time, because at the end of the day, you're making the decisions for yourself. Like, unless someone's taking something from you or taking it, it's kind of like, no, I made this decision, you know, like, on my own. And so it's important, it's important to reflect on those things. And like Sean said, what is it that you want? Because I think it's easy to say, I want this from this person. And then when you're presented with it, or even something that's remotely like it, how do you react to it? You know, do you run? Do you, you know what I mean? Do you sabotage it? You know, like, these are all things that I think we do. and we're not realizing it's us. Like, we play a huge part in the demise of things that, you know, good things that could happen. So it's super important. I think that accountability thing, man, like, that is across the board in relationships, in your life, with your family relationships. Like, it's really across the board. Like, you have to be responsible for yourself at the end of the day, so that you can lessen the pain, because I also feel like whatever you're allowing to happen, you know what I mean? Like, you allow someone to hurt you. You can choose to be like, yeah, no, you're not even gonna get that close to even be able to hurt me. Or
you have to also be in the right headspace to even to recognize that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're not. I know for me, I wasn't. Not in those moments. I was in a fucked up mental space. I was just.
Right.
It was like, oh, I don't see that. Huh?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
For sure.
But once you're healing and you start to recognize now the signs are like, hello, we've been trying to tell you. You're like, oh,
Right.
alright.
Oh, you talking to me?
You know, you're not ready.
Right.
No.
Right.
You know.
No, that actually. No, I was good.
I'm saying, like she said, you just have to hold yourself accountable and own your fault in the situation. You know, you can't just blame the other person and say, oh, well, they weren't ready for me. Like, were you really ready?
Yeah.
And I know for me, I wasn't. I thought I was, but
Because you want to be, I think.
we want to be ready.
You want to be.
And sometimes you just